I just can't with this filing. It's 369 giggity pages long, and I'm already too jacked on page 4 that I feel like I have to make another video. And I apologize about this, by the way. I'll make this one very quick. NSCC 2021-803 advance notice to NSCC 2021-010 both came out at the same time. I figured they would, as we saw DTC 014 come out earlier this afternoon. Now, again, this brings up the SFT, or the Securities Financing Transaction Clearing Service. So 3 or 4 pages in, it's already hitting me what they're trying to do. Let's go ahead and take a look at the purpose real quick. Now, this is weird too, by the way. No contact info, never seen that. So again, I've covered over 100 filings this year. It's the only one I've seen with language that we're about to look at. So before we get there, let's look at the purpose. There's 4 major things. Number 1, they're looking to establish new membership categories and requirements for sponsoring members and sponsored members, whereby existing members would be permitted to sponsor certain institutional firms into membership. Number 2, establish a new membership category and requirements for agent clearing members, whereby existing members would be permitted to submit on behalf of their customers transactions to NSCC for novation. Number 3, establish the SFT clearing service to make central clearing available at NSCC for SFTs. And lastly, make other amendments and clarifications to the rules. Now take a look at this. NSCC is proposing to introduce central clearing for SFTs, which are, broadly speaking, securities lending transactions where parties exchange equity securities against cash and simultaneously agree to exchange the same securities in cash, plus or minus a rate payment on a future date. In particular, the proposed SFT clearing service would expand central clearing at NSCC to include SFTs with a 1 business day term, i.e. overnight SFTs like what we see in the repo market, in eligible equity securities that are entered into by members, institutional firms that are sponsored into the NSCC by a sponsoring member, as defined below, or agent clearing members, as defined below, on behalf of customers, also as defined below, as applicable. This is where it gets interesting. SFTs involve the owner of securities, typically a registered investment company, pension plan, sovereign wealth fund, or another institutional firm, transferring those securities temporarily to a borrower, typically a hedge fund. You know what they're saying, right? You know where they're going with this, right? SFTs are often facilitated and intermediated by broker-dealers and agent lenders, i.e. custodial banks or other institutions that lend out securities as agent on behalf of institutional firms. In return for the lent securities, the borrower transfers collateral, and a net rate payment is typically transferred to either the lender or the borrower that reflects the liquidity of the lent securities, as well as interest on any collateral. Now, NSCC understands that SFTs provide liquidity to markets and facilitates the ability of market participants to make delivery on short sales and thereby avoid failure to delivers, naked shorting, and similar situations. Did we just get a filing with the words liquidity, delivery of short sales, failure to deliver, and naked shorts in the same sentence? What? On a typical business day, the DTC, an NSCC affiliate, processes deliver orders related to securities lending transactions on securities having a value of approximately $150 billion. That's a typical business day. Oh, this filing's badass. This is as far as I've gotten, but as you can see, I've again, over 100 filings so far this year, and we have naked shorts, short sale, and failure to deliver is brought up in the same sentence, all of surrounding securities lending. So what are they doing? They're going to be implementing a legitimate securities lending service that will prevent these broker dealers from naked shorting the living shit out of all of our shares over and over again, because now we have SFTs. So, hey, that's a step in the right direction in my book. Again, page 4 out of 369, but it's already becoming very clear what they want to do. I imagine most of this is going to be jargon and technical changes, but the major stuff here. Major